All right, rolling now.
I'm going to say the little piece called The Christmas Guest. When I was a child, I loved to hear this story Grandma told each year. She told it in her native tongue, and I was very, very young. But yet, this story seemed to be filled with wonderment for me, for in my childish heart there grew a dream that I might see him too, that he would call on me this way, so I must watch for him each day. And that is why The Christmas Guest is still the story I love best. So I'll retell it to you now, for I can't help but feel somehow that children and people everywhere should hear this story Grandma told each year. For Christmas Day is doubly blessed when Jesus is our Christmas guest. It happened one day at the year's white end. Two neighbours called on an old-time friend, and they found his shop so meagre and mean, made gay with several boughs of green. And Conrad was sitting with face ashine when he suddenly stopped as he stitched the twine, and he said, "Good friends, at dawn today, when the cock was crowing the night away, the Lord appeared in a dream to me and said, I am coming, your guest to be. So I have been busy with feet of stir, strewing my shop with branches of fir. The table is spread and the kettle is shined, and over the rafters the holly is twined. And now I will wait for the Lord to appear, and listen closely so I will hear his step as he nears my humble place, and I open the door and look in his face." So his friends went home and left Conrad alone, for this was the happiest day he had known. For long since his family had passed away, and Conrad had spent many a sad Christmas day. But he knew, with the Lord as his Christmas guest, this Christmas would be the dearest and best. So he waited with only joy in his heart, and with every sound he would rise with a start and hope that the Lord would be standing there in answer to his earnest prayer. So he went to the window after hearing a sound, but all that he saw on the snow-covered ground was a poor old beggar whose shoes were torn and all of his clothes were ragged. Conrad was touched, and he went to the door and he said, "Your feet must be frozen and sore, and I have some shoes in my shop for you, and a coat that'll keep you warmer too." So with grateful heart the man went away. But as Conrad noticed the time of day, he wondered what kept the dear Lord so late, and how much longer he'd have to wait. Then he heard a knock, and he went to the door. But it was only a stranger once more, a bent old woman with a shawl of black and a bundle of faggots piled on her back. She asked for only a place to rest. But that was reserved for Conrad's great guest. Still, her voice seemed to plead, "Don't send me away. Let me rest for a while on Christmas Day." So Conrad brewed her a steaming cup and told her to sit at his table and sup. But after she left, he was filled with dismay, for he saw that the hours were passing away, and the Lord had not come as he said he would, and Conrad felt sure he had misunderstood. Then Out in the silence he heard a cry. "Please help me and tell me, where am I?" Again he went to his friendly door and stood disappointed as twice before. It was only a child who had wandered away and was lost from her family on Christmas Day. Poor Conrad's heart was heavy and sad, but he knew he should make this little child glad. So he called her in, and he wiped her tears, and he quieted all her childish fears. Then he led her back to her home once more. But as he entered his own darkened door, he knew that the Lord was not coming today, for the hours of Christmas had passed away. So he went to his room and he knelt down to pray, and he said, "Dear Lord, why did you delay? What kept you from coming to call on me? For I wanted so much your face to see." Then, soft in the silence, a voice he heard. "Lift up your head, for I kept my word. 3 times my shadow crossed your floor. 3 times I came to your lonely door. For I was the beggar with bruised cold feet. I was the woman you gave to eat. And I was the child on the homeless street." Trust. Much more than many other things I ever hoped to be, is to be worthy of the trust my friends repose in me. For trust is faith, and faith is love, and love is many things, including all the comfort and the happiness it brings. Trust is a badge of honour that no one can buy or steal. It is integrity itself, a truly great ideal. The whole foundation, weak or strong, for every floor and wall, on which a friendship firmly stands, or it is bound to fall. And so I hope, whatever comes, wherever I may be, that never once will I betray a trust reposed in me. This is a little historic one that I learned at school many years ago. It's called An Incident of 1798. There are soldiers in the marketplace, the judge is in the town, and justice, stern-faced handmaid law, now wears its darkest frown. It's the year of tears and troubles, the year of blood and fate, of darkened hearts and roofless homes, the year of 98. The people's hearts are broken, their hopes are dead and gone. They hardly dare to breathe a sound. Each face is scared and wan. For heavy as the thunderbolt, swift as the lightning's flash, upon their patriot plot hath fallen the English vengeance lash. The land they thought with arms to save is but the faster bound, and hopes that freedom's hearts had raised are dashed again to ground. The judge is seated. Round the court like statues soldiers stand. The two whose doom this day will fix are fettered hand to hand. Two noble youths with clear grey eyes and glance that never quails. Their lips are set and bloodless, but their courage never fails. And only when the Judas friend, less calmly far than they, stands in the box and faces them, do they at length give way. Then the memory of the past springs up, their souls to rend. They curse the hour when trusting hearts called that black traitor friend. It's over now. The foreman's lips have spoke the fatal word, but hark, from out that silent crowd, a woman's voice is heard. "O sir, my lord, O judge Asthore, you'll give me leave to speak. I'm all they have, God help them now, their mother old and weak. Himself is dead, my lord, for long, oh, long, long, weary years, and the love of those two boys is all the poor old widow cheers. One's not my own, his mother died and left him a gossoon, but sure I love them both, my lord, you'll save them both a ruin. And may the heavens be your bed, may all the saints look down and bless you, and you'll have the prayers of all that's in the town." Then rose a murmur strong and deep, and all that anxious crowd for mercy on the widow's boys prayed earnestly aloud. The judge was moved to pity, but duty tied him down. He tried in vain to steel his heart, he tried in vain to frown. "These men are all the stay you have, they toil that you may live. The mercy that I can, I'll show, his life to one I'll give. Take then your choice, your husband's child whose mother is no more, or him whom to the sire of both you in your bosom bore." A cruel choice, a bitter task. She bowed her aged head. Some bitter tears coursed down her cheeks. Then she looked up and said, "I thank you kindly, sir, my lord, but oh, my lord, it's hard. How could I choose between the boy I bore and him I reared? Oh, Judge Alana, choose yourself which one you wish to save. If I sent one to death, I'd not sleep quiet in my grave." "Good woman, I can do no more. One dies, it's right and just. Which one is spared depends on you, so make your choice, you must." A moment more, and then she spoke. "Oh, Mike, me darling boy, you know 'tis not I love you less. I'd die for you with joy. But Patsy's mother is dead, Asthore. He has none to take his part. So him I'll choose. Oh, Mike, this day it's broken is my heart. His mother is dead, Alana. Sure 'tis you will see her soon, and tell her, Mike, I saved her boy. God bless you, Mike Aroon. A cheer arose among the crowd. The judge's eyes grew dim. Take both your sons, you noble heart, you shall not weep for them. Then to the prisoners, go, he said, if Irish hearts be true, learn that with justice English rule may mingle mercy too. It's all now. When I was, it couldn't be done. Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quiddit, he started to sing as he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it. The noble boy. The woman was old and feeble and grey, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. The street was wet with the recent snow, and the woman's feet were weary and slow. She stood at the crossing and waited long, alone, uncared for amid the throng. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came the boys along like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past the woman, so old and grey, hastened the children on their way, nor offered a helping hand to her, so meek, so timid, afraid to stir. At last came one of the merry troop, the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you across if you wish to go." So he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were firm and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She is somebody's mother, boys, you know, although she is old and poor and slow. And I hope somebody will lend a hand to help my mother, you understand, if ever she's old and feeble and grey, and her own dear boy is far away. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, "God be kind to that noble boy, who is somebody's son and pride and joy. That's that one. Now, little by little. Little by little an acorn said, as it slowly sank in its mossy bed, I am improving every day, hidden deep in the earth away. Little by little each day it grew, little by little it sipped the dew. Downward it sent a thread-like root, up in the air sprang a tiny shoot. Day after day and year after year, little by little the leaves appear, and the slender branches spread far and wide, till the mighty oak is the forest's pride. Little by little, said a thoughtful boy, each precious moment I will employ, and always this rule in my mind shall dwell, whatever I do, I'll do it well. Little by little I learn to know the treasured wisdom of long ago, and sometime perhaps the world will be happier and better because of me. Yeah. This piece is called The Hellbound Trin. A Texas cowboy on a barroom floor had drank so much he could hold no more. So he fell asleep with a troubled brain to dream that he rode on the hell-bound train. The engine with human blood was damp, and the headlight was a brimstone lamp. An imp for fuel was shoveling bones, and the furnace roared with 1,000 groans. The tank was filled with lager beer. The devil himself was the engineer. The passengers were a mixed-up crew, churchmen, atheist, Baptist, Jew. The rich in broadcloth, poor in rags, handsome girls and wrinkled hags, black men, yellow, red and white, chained together, a fearful sight. The train rushed on at an awful pace, and sulphur fumes burned hands and face. Wilder and wilder the country grew, faster and faster the engine flew. Loud and terrible thunder crashed, whiter, brighter lightning flashed. Hotter still the air became, till the clothes were burned from each shrinking frame. Then came a fearful, ear-splitting yell. Yelled Satan, "Gents, the next stop is hell." 'Twas then the passenger shrieked with pain and begged the devil to stop the train. He shrieked and he roared and he grinned with glee, and he mocked and he laughed at their misery. "My friends, you have bought your seats on this road. I have got to go through with the complete load. You've bullied the weak, you've cheated the poor, the starving tramp you have turned from the door. You have laid up gold till your purses burst, you have given play to your beastly lust. You have mocked at God in your hell-born pride. You've killed and you've cheated, you've plundered and lied. You have double-crossed men, and you've swore and you've stole. Not one but has perjured his body and soul. So you've paid full fare, and I'll carry you through. If there's one don't belong, I'd like to know who. And here's one time when I ain't no liar, I'll land yous all safe in the land of fire. There your flesh will scorch with the flames that roar. You'll sizzle and scorch from rind to core." Then the cowboy awoke with a thrilling cry. His clothes were wet and his hair stood high. And he prayed as he's never prayed till that hour, to be saved from hell, the devil's power. His vows and his prayers were not in vain, and he paid no fare on the hellbound train. Everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There were once 4 people called everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody thought that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought that anybody could do it, but nobody realised that everybody would not do it. And it ended up with everybody blaming somebody and nobody sure what anybody could have done. From an African boy to his white boss. Dear boss, when I am born, I am black. When I grow up, I am black. When I am sick, I am black. When I go out in the sun, I am black. When I am cold, I am black. When I die, I am black. But you, when you are born, you are pink. When you grow up, you are white. When you go out in the sun, you are red. When you are sick, you are green. When you are cold, you are blue. When you die, you are purple. And you have the nerve to call me coloured. Your loving garden boy, Samuel. You are purple. When you die, you are purple. Never mind. And you have the nerve to call me coloured. It wasn't